There's a reason why over 1 million people tune into Hard Facts every day. We discuss in-depth stories with sources behind the facts.
The Lagos State High Court has convicted, suspended the Chicago certificate story. It's never going away, is it? Show with stories for the day.
You hear diverse voices and opinions.
And she was meeting her friend with her husband, knowing that. You should not feel happy because there is nothing to happy about.
Yeah, it's quite pathetic the way the country is going.
We distinguish each story accurately with analysis.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. It's time for the big hard facts, and we're going to be talking about the issue of corruption and the debate on the death penalty being some sort of deterrent of sorts. My guest is having technical issues. I don't know what's going on with all the telcos these days, because guests are always having issues with joining via Zoom. I'm going to try to see if I can get my guests to join me via telephone so that we can get this conversation on the road. But while we are waiting on my guests, I'd like to give you some background to some of the economic issues, EFCC issues, and the governance official even who have been caught in this fire of prime run and by King. The ability that war have been in right areas and out that war. Now, my guest is one of those who have advocated of for corruption. He does. He into us what that is an option. First, let's get the EFT fight guest. I want the list of has and have budget paid to me by to minus. Mostly have Baylor, who's a former governor of state, who was to do record time jobs make meet 19 pound child money to the tune 80 billion Now, different for Yaya Channel, who also is board man, on criminal breach trust to the tune of 100.4 billion. Iris discovered for government sector the government in state effect procuring for the and bring on criminal breach of security and questions the 27 naira and we're country. The rate BFC on 24 High Court sitting in Abuja. He was arraigned on lodging down of problems and option the chief naira lost for. Was being prosecuted so Timmy Silver for God by say see for 2 again over registering this for between that until he got the list of interest because my guess he's talking a penalty should be given and look at money that paper starting down. You can imagine how much money that would be if we collect. I'm gonna talk my battle. I'm gonna see him cover it. I think he's trying to talk to him. He will fix tech issue. I get the he works on the Buhari institution. Okoi Obono-Obla, Joyce Valor, Stella. He's not thinking about it. Okay, wait. So while we're looking for now, we can just buy Zoom, Mr. Ball. I'm going to read this again. Let me show the us and the know. Okay, great. Okoi Obono-Obla is a fun potential and he's going to be joining us to talk for the death penalty. Now, at least with names and amounts that have allegedly been so public and some cases are still in court. People maybe not have the heart, but most have gone, in the wind. And so, in question, the senator who won the law then became a national party leader, said to the hearing of Nigerians that once you cross over to their political party, all your sins will be forgiven. And we saw a lot of people running to that party and their sins literally were forgiven. Could that also be the basis for which my guest will be talking about, the issue of death penalty? There's several sides to this conversation, but I want to continue to give you a list of people who have been allegedly prosecuted or still under prosecution by the EFCC, or their cases are still in court. Okay, my guest is joining us now. This is okay. Let's just sort this out. Okay, we'll take a quick break.
Credible journalism, bridging the gap between people and those in authority. With Hard Facts, you are sure to get only the facts.
Tune in to Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Allow us to save you the stress.
Count on us for your daily dose of information and current affairs.
You ask for it, the conversation, and more on Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Millions of listeners trust us on Hard Fact. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories, you know we're credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, we're back. My guest is finally able to join us. But in the meantime, I can only quickly run through the names of some of the ministers who have been termed as corrupt and under investigation by the EFCC. Okay, so let's look at that quickly before I come to Chief Obono-Obla. So here we go. The ministers, I've talked about some governors. Now, Saleh Maman, who is a former Minister of Power between 2019 and 2021, is being prosecuted as we speak before Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court, Maitama Abuja, on 12-count charges bordering on conspiracy to commit money laundering to the tune of 33,804,830,503 naira. Olu Agunloye, former Minister of Power, during the Obasanjo regime, had also been prosecuted on 7-count charges bordering on official corruption and fraudulent award of Mambila Power Project to the tune of $6 billion US. I think that's the highest we've heard. But I'm being joined by Chief Obono-Obla. He is a former presidential aide. It's so good to have him join us. Funny enough, our paths has never crossed until today. Chief, it's so good to have you join us. Sorry about the technical hitches.
Yeah, thank you, Maryann. It's a pleasure.
Great. I was just reading out a list of several of these accusations by the EFCC of public office holders, some that have seen the light of day and some that have been forgiven because they joined the APC or they were under the covering of the powers that be or the government of the day. But you, on the other hand, have been pushing for the death penalty as a deterrent of sorts, I'm guessing, for corruption. And I'm hoping that this is not just about corruption for politicians, but corruption across the board. But start by telling us why you are going this path.
Well, I think it is a misconception to think that corruption is only perpetrated by politicians. Corruption is in the public sector, is in the private sector, is in the civil service, is in the paramilitary. So it's everywhere. Even the people, the ordinary people also, are part of the industry. And I also think that the public, the Nigerians, are not revolted by corruption because when you are given an appointment, everybody wants to celebrate with you. People will begin to come, to you with a lot of ideas on how to make money. And sometimes, if you do not patronize them, if you do not give them money, they want you to pay school fees, they want you to sponsor weddings, marriages, child's dedication, send them to Jerusalem, to Mecca, and then nobody ponder. Nobody reflects. This man is a civil servant or a public officer. Maybe his take home is just 400,000 naira. Where is he getting all this money is doling out to people? So I don't think Nigerians are revolted by corruption. If they are revolted by corruption, they cannot be in cahoots, with politicians and public servants. The banking industry is also very corrupt. All the money laundering, from politicians, from the private sector, from civil servants, is being handled by bankers. Okay, and I can tell you that I did my master's in international business law. I wrote about money laundering in Nigeria. Nigeria is a hub in the West African sub-region of money laundering. And money laundering and corruption are like twins.
Wow.
They are intertwined, they are interwoven, they go hand in hand. So I don't think it is correct to only pinpoint at politicians as the only corrupt people. The people who even facilitate the corruption of the politicians are the civil servants. The civil servants are very smart. They know the financial regulations of government. And when you are appointed, maybe as a minister, DG, the people who come to you to teach you how to, siphon money are the civil servants. If you go to Abuja, you see massive housing estates. These housing estates were, belong to politicians, civil servants, and the politicians, the civil servants they have expertise in what in pidgin English I will call chop clean mouth. You see them looking very conservative, looking very innocent. They don't dress well. They don't buy big cars, but they have a lot of money. Will proceeds from corruption industry.
Wow.
So, yes.
let's push back a little. You talked about, you're talking about politicians as the corrupt officers. Now, there's something that Okoi, who is the head of EFCC, said. I'd like to quote him directly because he adds to what you have just said about corruption and corrupt people. In fact, I think he had something to do with clapping for. He said Nigerians defend corrupt leaders yet complain about corruption. So, like you said, the man who pays for their children's school fees or pays their rent or is helping their business, they're not asking questions as to where the money is coming from, as long as the money keeps coming. So this one way or the other pays credence to what you have just said. For example, I used to know a local government chairman in my state, your state. And every morning you went to this local government chairman's house. There were so many people there before the man even wakes up. So many people there with all kinds of problems. Some are just arriving to eat, just to have their breakfast, and then they will go back to their homes. So can a Nigerian actually say that they want to fight corruption, or that government should fight corruption if, like you said, we all have some sense of corruption or a corrupt mindset? In other words, if we were in the shoes of those politicians we call corrupt, we probably might be doing the same thing. So how then do we even start this corruption fight?
Let me give you a personal example. When I was suspended from office as the chairman of the Presidential Investigation Panel for Recovery of Public Property, I did so much. I generated over 500 corruption cases. When I was appointed, I was just doing one file. But within 2 years, I was in office. I generated over 500 cases of massive corruption, grand larceny. And then I was suspended because corruption fought back. And then when I went home, some of my relations or relatives, they didn't come to say hello. They didn't greet me. So my friends, all of them were saying that I had opportunity to massively enrich myself and to also to empower them. That means that I should dip my hands into government coffers and patronize them. They didn't talk to me. And then
I'm sorry, Chief, we have to go on a quick break. I'm so sorry. Let's just go on a quick break. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Hello, excuse me. This meal pack looks different. I'm seeing support energy release, bam, on the pack. Is it the same Milo? No, this one is new and improved. The support energy release means when you give your kids Milo as part of breakfast, you are giving them energy they need to go to school. I like this one.
Your kids need nourishing energy. Give them the new and improved Milo at breakfast. It has nutrients that support energy release to help them get the most out of their day. Milo, energy to go further.
Kitchen game, there are players And then Agba Ballers, MVP, Player of the Year, 10-0, no rival. Become an Agba Baller with the new improved Maggi chicken flavor, the game changer, made with a flavorful formation of onions, celery, turmeric to bring out your top game in the kitchen. Elevate the taste of your everyday dishes with delicious rich chicken flavor. Oh yeah, let's go.
New Maggi chicken flavor, the game changer.
Hello, Mrs. Martins.
Yes. Oh, Mrs. Johnson, how may I help you?
Junior's body temperature is high and he's complaining about headaches and body aches.
Not to worry. Get Bruston and suspension.
Okay, ma. I'll call you back.
Bruston and suspension for children is a sweet-tasting brand of ibuprofen which provides relief against toothache, pains, and fever in children after 30 minutes.
Hello, ma. Oh, Junior, stop that.
Is everything okay, Mrs. Johnson?
Yes, ma. Junior is fine now. In fact, Junior, sorry, ma. I'll call you back.
Brustin and suspension for children. Always take the product after meal. If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult your doctor. A quality product from Rambaxay.
Hey, here's a question for you. What gets you out of bed in the morning? Is it the sunrise? The sound of your alarm? No, it's that dream, that drive, that unstoppable force inside you. And you know what fuels that drive? It's starting your day strong with the rich, creamy taste of Nescafe Original 3-in-1, carefully crafted from selected coffee beans. So, whatever your hustle, go from maybe or I can't to I can and I will. Nescafe Original 3-in-1. Start strong, finish strong.
Harude, my young baby, Harude.
Hey, whoa, Mama, it's not Harude now. It's all day deodorant.
Abumo, leave me and my Harude, I beg. Because because you dash me perfume.
Mama, no be perfume now. It's deodorant.
Now roll on they talk now. See, they make me sense. Where, Harude.
All day, Mama, all day.
Whether na market or even church self, I go wear up. Harude. I know they fear sweat again. No.
All day.
Oh my licha. Now wait till you say the way go that your office now, eh? When you came,
Mama, not all day shoppers.
Whether na all day, Harude, as long as you dey buy up, I got the use.
Mama, you never change.
All Day antiperspirant and deodorant has you covered all day, whether it's market runs or office calls. Smell sweet, feel fresh and confident. Do it for you. All Day antiperspirant and deodorant, now available in stores near you.
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey, and when you add plenty of vegetables like efo, ugu, and season with the rich taste of Knorr seasoning cubes, even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
Who thinks you can't have it all with one play?
I got that defined boy. You have just won yourself.
Congratulations.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, Melitus. One player don't talk to two players because you won 20K.
So now you won yourself 20,000 naira.
My name is Well Done.
Okay, well done. You want to tell you well done? You won yourself 20,000 naira.
With 500 naira, you can play to win big. From 120,000 naira to 190,000 naira daily on Nigeria Info. Go to oneplay.ng and play with 500 naira. And in a few seconds, your ticket is in the draw. Or dial *347 *880 *3#. Win daily on Nigeria Info. 50,000 naira on Money Crossfire. 60,000 naira on WhatsApp Lagos. 20,000 naira on Sunnyside. And 60,000 naira on Game On. So Lagos, what are you waiting for? The more you play, the better your chances of winning. Remember to dial *347 *880 *3#. Play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18.
My children are athletes. From the moment they wake up, they keep playing and learning. So, when I pack the new Milo NS snacks into their lunchbox, I'm giving them a delicious snack with the goodness of malt, milk, cocoa, and crunchy Niger-grown maize containing calcium, iron, and fiber.
Milo NS Snacks, snack of future champions to help your kids refuel and keep winning all day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! Welcome back to your #1 talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
millions of listeners trust us on Hard Fact. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories, you know we're credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yes, it's still Hard Facts, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We're broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios right here in Itamian Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. This is Hard Facts. And on the big Hard Facts today, we're talking about the issue of corruption and the debate of the death penalty. There's a lot to unpack. My guest is Chief Okoi Obono-Obla, and he is a former aide for Mr. President, former Mr. President Buhari. He's one of those who are advocating for the death penalty to be a deterrent of sorts for corruption. But how do we get there? And that's why we're having this conversation. Before we went on the break, he was trying to give us a personal experience of when corruption fights back. Chief, please, let's go back to that story you were telling. So you told us that when you were suspended, all the people that probably came to wish you well when you were given the appointment were not very happy to see you come back when you were suspended.
Yes, because they said, why did I think that I will be the person to repair Nigeria? I'll be the person to, stop corruption in Nigeria. That every other person is corrupt. That why didn't I help myself as others have done?
Wow.
And even when I wanted to run for Senate, when I wanted to get a ticket in my political party, and my opponents were saying that I don't have money, So it's very painful. Because we work so hard, we put our lives on the line to get the job done. Because when I was appointed, they told me, oh, that is a large dish effort, to end corruption in Nigeria, to reduce corruption in Nigeria to the barest minimum. So when everybody didn't support me, even the government that appointed me didn't support me, I was framed up, I was persecuted, prosecuted, victimized, because I was doing my work. So I don't think Nigerians are ready to fight corruption. When we are ready to fight corruption, then we will start having results. And it will be a collaboration between the government and the people. Everybody, all the institutions of government, not having appointees that are very ambivalent, to the fight against corruption. Even in the last regime that espoused, the fight against corruption as its, a mantra. In 2015, that was what was, sold to Nigerians. And Nigerians were very excited, and they voted that the previous government into office. But the impetus died down, and eventually, before that regime ended, I was removed, Magun was removed, and then the war against corruption died. So we should know what we want for our country.
So
do we want to continue?
Are you saying that we don't know what we want as Nigerians, and that's why we're going back and forth?
The elites of Nigeria are confused. Nigerians too are confused. There is no consensus on this issue of corruption. So where there is no consensus between the people and the governing elite, then I don't see us making any progress.
I'm trying to coin this very well. If we want to really fight corruption, we definitely, and I don't want to sound like the regular guys, we need to have strong institutions. Do we have that? I'm guessing it's a resounding no.
We don't have strong institutions. The National Assembly, too, should key into the fight against corruption. Because if you look at the Constitution, the National Assembly is supposed to be an anti-corruption agency. The National Assembly appropriates money. The National Assembly can investigate any agency of government that is involved in corruption or that is involved in inefficiency, that is involved in maladministration. But we are not seeing the National Assembly doing that. So there must be a collaboration between the National Assembly, the executive branch of government, the judicial branch of government, and the people. We are not seeing that. So that is why I'm saying that Nigerians are not ready to fight corruption. And because of that, I've advocated for death penalty. Maybe if death penalty is introduced, then Nigerians will sit up. Everybody will sit up, because nobody wants to die untimely. So that is it.
As much as I want to agree with you, let's take it in bits. You just call the executive, the three arms of government, the executive, which many would say is very, very highly corrupt. I mean, we've seen what we've seen with the budget proposals and the padding, which is also on the side of the House, the National Assembly. And then the judiciary, which is also has been a spectacle before the Nigerian public in recent times. Let's stay with the National Assembly. If you were a member of the National Assembly and let's say that they voted, your party allowed you to run for a National Assembly, would you cut off your nose to spite your face? The reason why I'm asking this question is, if I know that I've got a lot of skeletons in my cupboard, why would I want to put myself out there? Why would I want to call a death sentence knowing that I will be one of the first to fall on my same sword? Why would I want to do that? The synergy that you're calling for, how can it happen when most of the people who are involved in siphoning and kickbacks and all of those things are seated on the floor of our National Assembly?
Well, if you are familiar with the Marxian political theory, the philosophy, Marxian political philosophy, look, Marx say, look, the people that will effect change, the people that will bring about a revolution, are those people who belong to the privileged class, the money class, the property class. So it is the governing elite that will effect any change they want in society, because they are educated, they are the policy makers, they are the lawmakers, they are the leaders. You don't expect the peasant farmers in Gusau or Udupani or Ifaransa to be in the forefront in the fight to change Nigeria, to reduce corruption. It is the elites, the senators, the members of the House of Representatives, ministers, permanent secretaries, governors, commissioners, and so members of the State Assembly. Those are the people, soldiers who should be in the forefront. It's not the peasant people. So if I advocate for death penalty, I'm in the National Assembly, and I become an accused, then so be it. Okay? Every society, it is the governing elite that will effect change. It's happening in Russia. Let me tell you, Lenin, that one of the leaders, that led that revolution in Soviet Russia, he was a professor of law in the University of Moscow. Fidel Castro of Cuba, he belonged to the property class, and he was a law student in the University, of Havana, when he led that revolution, Cuban revolution. So that is it. It's always those people who lead. It's not the peasants. So everybody must be ready to commit what they call class suicide. Okay, you belong to this class, and you see that the country is not doing well. You commit suicide. Denounce your membership of that class, and push for for a change.
I'll say it again. These set of people that we have in the executive, let's leave the judiciary, and the legislature, do not seem to want to in any way fight corruption or do anything that would see them going down for whatever crimes that they've committed. So how do we? Because it's always down to the Nigerian people are not ready. But the people want a change. It's just that the people who have the power to effect the change are not doing it. So what do we do? Where does that leave us?
Well, I have mentioned revolutions that have erupted, that have taken place in other societies. I have mentioned Russia. I have mentioned Cuba. I have mentioned Ethiopia. I will mention Ethiopia. It means Rwanda. After all the killings in Rwanda, and Paul Kagame took over the leadership of Uganda. So that is it. If the Nigerians resolve that we are going to have a government that will be clean, that we are going to vote senators that will be clean, members of the House of Representatives that will be clean, a president that will be clean, they can do it.
How?
Because without us, they can't be in office.
How do we do that?
Yes, they cannot be in office. So if the consciousness is there, if the education is there, if the empowerment is there, then the Nigerians will push by ensuring that even any political party that wants votes from them will say, okay, if you want votes from us, you must say, okay, you are going to fight corruption.
Yeah,
and give us a plan or the roadmap for fighting corruption, and we make sure that we vote that party into our power. It's doable. It's not a mirage.
Yeah, but you see, how do you tell that to the average voter who's just been demoralized from the last election that happened? That's the story that the media's been telling them. We all can do it. Come out and vote. But then the corrupt politician is on the other hand saying, well, I can do anything. I can make things happen with my money. I don't even need your vote. I can take the judiciary. I can take INEC at itself, and we can turn these results in our favor. So again, are you certain that the people have the power to effect this change? And I'm not in any way saying they can't, but I need for you to be able to explain this to my already demoralized listeners.
Oh, well, look, let me give you a case of India. India is a mosaic complexity like Nigeria. India has thousands of ethnic groups. India is multicultural. India is multi-religious. India used to be one of the poorest countries in the world. And India used to be very corrupt. India about 30 years ago had a very corrupt political class. But with the pressure from the people of India, they were able to vote out corrupt politicians and vote in clean politicians. And then we have seen the progress India is making. India has done a lot to wipe out poverty. India is reputed to be one of the major economic powers that will emerge in about 20 years, 50 years time, 30 years time. So if India, that has all the indices of Nigeria, all the socio-economic, socio-political indices like Nigeria, can do it, we can do it. We can do it. It's left for people to be educated, just like what you are doing. You are educating the people. You are telling them, giving them information. Information is power. If information is available to you, you can do everything you want to do. So that is what we need. The mass media will continue to educate the people. The civil society will continue to educate the people. And there shall come a time when, everybody will be aware of what is happening. And they will make sure that any political party that wants power, the political party will do the right thing.
Okay.
They will vote people who will do the right thing.
In case you're just joining us, we're live on Facebook and on YouTube. You have questions, you have comments, go ahead and join the conversation. Before I open up the phone lines, Lagos, I want to ask you a quick question. When it comes to death penalty, that's also a very hot debate because governors, the ones that have come and the ones that are still here, have not necessarily wanted to, they've decided not to touch that issue of death penalty. They're afraid of it. They refuse to sign those papers because they don't want the blood, allegedly, the blood of people to be on their hands. But this is the law. So, and this is something they're supposed to sign for people who have taken lives. How much more those who are corrupt in some way? How is it? What makes you think that the governors are going to sign the death penalty for corrupt people if they haven't signed for people who have actually killed human beings, taken life?
Well, that means the death penalty is not a mirage in Nigeria. Under our constitution, there is no provision prohibiting death penalty. We have death penalty for murder cases. We have death penalty for prison. We have death penalties under the Terrorist Prevention Act of 2022, kidnapping.
Yes.
It carries a death penalty.
But nobody's signing it. The governors are not signing it because it's down to them to sign it.
Well, I don't think the governors are not signing death penalty. It's just speculative, But as a lawyer, I've practiced law for 34 years. What is happening is that there are very few murder cases in Nigeria. Okay. But those people on the death row, the governors have a duty, it's a constitutional duty, it's a constitutional responsibility to sign their, after they have been convicted by the courts. The governors and they've gone through the appeal process, the governors have a duty to sign those death warrants. But that shouldn't stop us from advocating for death penalty. You know, in as much as there's death penalty for murder, there's death penalty for kidnapping, there's death penalty for terrorism. You know, where that it means that death penalty is something that is contemplated by our constitution for corruption cases, not all type of corruption cases. I will say what I call grand corruption, grand larceny. For instance, recently we heard that $55 million was recovered from a former Nigerian petroleum minister by the government of the United States and is going to be returned to Nigeria. That is what I will call grand corruption. $55 million is a huge amount of money. If you convert that money to Naira, the current exchange rate, we are talking about trillions of Naira. So if somebody takes $55 million and put in his pocket or siphon it to Dubai or the United States or UK, then if that person is, caught, he should be, tried for, grand corruption, and the court should sentence him to death if you have death penalty in the statute books. So that is what I'm saying.
Great. This has to be an ongoing conversation because, of course, there has to be advocacy for that to be put in as a bill first, and then lobbying, and then making it pass its first, second, and third reading. Anyway, let me bring Lagosians into this conversation because we don't have time. Our time is moving like... I have just about 7 minutes, so I'm just going to quickly take calls. 0201 465 7190. Chief Okoi Obono-Obla is here with us in the studio, and we're talking about corruption and the death penalty. What are your thoughts? Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello, Maryann.
Good evening. 60 seconds is all you have. Go straight to the point, please.
All right. Good evening. I want to give kudos to your guest. He has almost exhausted everything that the listener was to say. But unfortunately, this topic is neither going to take us here nor there, because the leadership, as we have as hand today, is not willing. All said and done, quote and unquote, they are never willing to address the issue of corruption. So the references he has made are referencing to Russia, Cuba, Rwanda, and all of that. We need to have a new, vibrant set of leaders that will be willing to change the tide of things, and all these things will be put in place. For now, we don't have, because when a leadership will tell you that sin from outside, come to us and your sins are forgiven. What does that reference mean?
All right,
so no point talking about corruption.
Thank you very much for calling. Your 60 seconds is over, but I get your point. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Yes, Miriam, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Mrs. Olawale from Aja.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I think I agree partly with your guest, Chief Okon-Obla. Yes, when you talk about penalty, but when there is a leeway in the system, somebody knows that when you embezzle funds, you play bargain. And it's the judiciary. They cannot sentence somebody to death because of corruption. The National Assembly has refused to do their bidding, and it's so painful that at the end of the day, the electorates receive the bashing. The electorates will try the much they can do. The people, they don't have guns, they don't have bullets. You said revolution. When the people go out, and I can tell you,
why do we need guns and bullets for a revolution to happen?
No, not for revolution. I said the people don't have it because the people you want to revolt against have the armed forces behind them. And they unleash those on the people, and people don't want to die. I mean, people will say, "What am I even dying for?" I mean, the much you can do is to use your voter's card, and people come out to do that, and then you unleash terror on the people.
All right, I'm going to let you go because of time. Thank you very much. Point taken. And there's so many things to unpack there, Chief. But I'm just going to take one more call so that you can, attempt. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Good evening, Miriam. I don't know what the main line is working.
The main line is not working. This one's working. Go ahead.
Okay, Jonathan is fine. Mm-hmm. I think I want to disagree with your guest that we have little murder cases in Nigeria. I think it needs to recheck. And I want to believe a lot of murder culprits are even in the jail cases are not being heard. They have not even started. So as a lawyer, I expect him to know. A lot of cases, we've seen cases of ritual killing. Nobody has been brought to book. So I think I disagree with what that comment is.
Okay.
Thank you, Miriam.
All right. Let's start with the first two callers on, especially the last lady who said the government have the army, they have they have everything. And the last time Nigerians came out to protest, we were accused of trying to unseat the president. So what gives?
Well, we're not talking about process. We are talking about something that is constructive, something that is spontaneous, and then the people will vent their anger during elections. That is why I did say that Nigerians are not revolted by corruption. They are paying lip service because during the elections, the electorate will prefer to collect money, from these corrupt people, these people who cannot explain the source of their ill-gotten money. And they collect money and do the opposite. If a clean man, somebody who has very lofty ideas, come out to contest and he doesn't have money, at the election time, Nigerians will abandon him because he's not able to dole out money to them. So that is why I have been saying that the consciousness has to be cultivated. Nigerians must develop a high sense of consciousness, political consciousness. Because if you have the consciousness, you are empowered. You will not collect money from your oppressor and do the opposite on election day. You will use your vote wisely in a very powerful manner to send a strong message. That look, keep your dirty money. I'm going to vote for the right candidate who will do the right thing. We will go to the National Assembly and, initiate a bill, for introduction of death penalty in corruption cases. I will vote for an assemblyman who will go to the State House Assembly and push, for the introduction of a bill that will make corruption at the state level a death penalty. So it is not protesting. It's a different ball game. The scenarios are not the same. I am talking about the consciousness that we want from Nigerians, the consciousness that will make them to do the right thing. They will not collect money from anybody to vote, during election time.
Because I'm totally out of time, what would be your message to the average Nigerian who's checked out mentally of this country? Because whether you look left, right, center, there's a problem everywhere in Nigeria, and at the core of that problem is corruption. What do you say for that person to be interested again, to reinvest themselves in changing the Nigerian narrative? I just have 1 minute.
Yes, you can see even the insecurity issue is a fallout of corruption. The poor infrastructures, the scandalous and chaotic poverty, the glaring underdevelopment, the sufferings we see, is as a result of corruption. So Nigerians must know this, and they must make a conscious effort to fight against corruption, to fight leaders, that are corrupt, to support the anti-corruption agencies, report those who are living above their incomes. Because we know the corrupt people. We know those who are building massive estates, who never had money, who are not from rich families, or never did anything tangible before going into politics. And just after 6 months, they accumulate massive property. We know them. So we should fight against them. We should identify them and report them.
Okay.
And protest against them.
All right.
And
we have to go, Chief.
Contempt. Treat them with contempt. Don't respect them when they go to the mosque. Don't respect them when they go to the
99.3 Nigeria.
We have to go on a quick break.
Talk.
Attention, Airtel customers. If your line has been blocked, then this is for you. Head to the nearest Airtel shop with your NIN. Our friendly staff will help you get your line back up and running. Don't let a blocked line keep you out of touch.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
In the cooking game, you need a winning game plan. I'm not just talking about your fresh ingredients, utensils, or cooking skills. I'm talking about your choice of seasoning. Your game plan is incomplete without Maggi chicken flavor. Made with a flavorful formation of onions, celery, turmeric, it's the game changer. Elevate the taste of your everyday dishes with delicious rich chicken flavor. Oh yeah, let's go.
New Maggi chicken flavor, the game changer.
Mr. Teacher, please, what happens when children come to school? How is it that they leave home very neat and return looking so different?
Non-stop action, ma. All the learning and sports burn energy. So those sweat stains, torn uniforms, and dirty shoes, they show that your kid has been very active.
Now, wow.
Your kids need nourishing energy. Give them the new and improved Milo at breakfast. It has nutrients that support energy release to help them get the most out of their day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo. Life's full of crazy moments that whisper, do you have the guts?
And when your body screams stop, but you need to go one more time, that's Dubai confidence.
Pitching a bold, out-of-the-box idea in a boardroom full of suits? That's Dubai confidence.
That nervous hand shooting up to answer a question no one else dares to tackle? That's Dubai confidence.
Reaching for that skyscraper high jump? You bet! That's Dubai confidence.
That Dubai confidence comes from wearing the Dubai antiperspirant and deodorant with 48 hours all-round protection. Dubai, own your grind. Available in stores near you.
Oh, lunch. Guys, I'm going for lunch. Please, put more stew. Nice meal. My chest.
Suffering from heartburn and indigestion? Try Just Eat. Just Eat is a brand of aluminium and magnesium hydroxide and simethicone. Just Eat is available in suspension and tablets. Remedy for heartburn, indigestion, flatulence, and acidity.
Just Eat, now available in new packs. If symptoms persist after 3 days, please see your doctor. Read the leaflet inside.
Step into the light, feel the crowd screaming, see as you bright.
Each day is a unique opportunity to improve yourself and meet someone new. Make the most of your day. Stay fresh all day with Unique Soap. Unique Prickly Heat Antibacterial Soap is made with a cooling formula that kills germs and is infused with natural ingredients. Unique Soap. Be unique, be you.
Anything I want. Mama, they don't dash me 20,000 naira woof.
My pikin, who they dash 20,000 naira for this kind time?
That they dash everybody will get smart cash account 20,000 naira.
You mean them go dash me 20,000 naira a woof too?
Yes, so mama. That they dash all old and new smart cash users 20,000 naira woof.
Oh yeah, tell your yard people make them dial *939# or download Smart Cash app to open their own account. Make themselves enjoy 20k a woof. Every time when you buy airtime or pay bills with Smart Cash, you go chop inside your 20k. Terms and conditions they shall.
I don't see my own woof.
Smart Cash.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.